Hi there. It is week 4. We missed week 3 because we had to quarantine in a hotel with my mom for a week. We did come by and get some water in the plants and check on them, but we lost a couple things because of it. We're going to need to replant some spinach and some lettuce and some other stuff. So we have a lot to do this week. We're gonna fertilize and water the plants. We're gonna water the indoor garden over there. We got a new cardboard shredder by Bonsai we're gonna check out and get some cardboard shredding for the compost pile. We're gonna replant some spinach and some lettuce and a couple other things. We're gonna go over the mistakes we made in our planting. And if we get all of that done, there's a few other things we might do, like starting to assemble the birdies, beds, containers for the garden, and maybe even get to assembling the compost bins out of pallets this weekend. That's the goal. We'll see how much we can get done. So we're going to start as usual over here in the winter garden. Basil, Johnny's Asian basils are doing great. This pepper tree is really, Thai pepper plant is really growing nicely, but it's still only really the one pepper. Maybe one or two more, but yeah, not gonna do that anymore. The little basils are a failure. All these little things, I guess I'm just gonna think of these as glorified seed starts. But all in all, I think the winter garden we talked about this. No pepper plants next year and 5 big basils to get the basil through the winter. I've got some grapes and some blueberries, and they were dormant, but the heat from the garage has got them to start growing already. So might get them potted this weekend, leave them in the garage, just put them in bigger pots, but I'll probably wait another week or two for that. And here we have the rest of the overwintering peppers. That was decided it's spring. These are some dead old lettuces I just haven't composted yet. And same with this. That's a dead old oregano that I have to get out and compost. Might do that today. Put it in with the rest of the dirt from last year. But yeah, really all we're going to do over here today is we're going to water all of these. Watered them midweek, so we're in a pretty good place. And then I think I probably will get rid of some of these older plants that's just been sitting here. Those 2 lettuces, that oregano, I will take out and get those put into the compost and the dirt into the dirt bins. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, let's check out the seedling. Actually, a little bit dried on the leaves. You can see on some of those. They're a little bit dried. They're definitely watered now. What's that? That's celery. That's doing not so good. So that stuff's all kind of okay. Over here, the fennel dried out. The Chico broccoli dried out. So we're gonna need to redo that. The Brussels sprouts dried out. We're gonna redo all of those. And then here, this is Baker Creek, Montrose, spinach. All our spinach dried out, so we need to replant spinach, and you'll see that down here too. That spinach is gone, but this stuff needs to be redone. So what we're gonna do, and then down here is all our tomatoes, and they are looking great. Little leggy on those. That's the thing we have to do today, though. We've got multiple tomatoes in each one of these, so we're gonna start splitting tomatoes out into bigger pots. We're gonna up-pot tomatoes today too. But first task, so we're gonna rearrange things, and we're gonna replant that spinach, and the fennel, and whatever else is dried out and didn't make it through my week away in quarantine with my mom. And we're gonna get all those into one of these trays, and then we're gonna get a humidity dome on it and water it, and then we're gonna replant that stuff. So that is the first order of business. After that, oh, here's some sage I did, that's going pretty well. After we get all those reorganized, the new stuff planted under a humidity dome, we'll water everything else. It's decently moist. Maybe we won't water. Things are feeling pretty moist. I watered 2 days ago. This is a problem I'm having though. I can't do the finger test very well with seedlings. I don't really know what to do about that. But anyway, so after that, we will start up-potting our tomatoes. We've got a bunch of the next size up of pots. I'm gonna split them out. I'm gonna have way too many tomatoes. Hopefully some neighbors will take them or something. I don't even know where I'm gonna fit them. That whole tray's gonna have to go, I think. Maybe we can get that put into the new tray. We shall see. The potatoes look like they're a complete failure. I might toss those and make some room as well. I have to research what I did wrong with potatoes. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. Not as easy as I thought. So, all right, here we go. Rearranging, moving things around, and then we're gonna replant the stuff that died. Pre-moistening our seed starting mix. This is the espoma that we left off with last time. We bought a couple more bags this morning of the Miracle Grow. We're going to start with this espoma stuff. We're going to get this pre-moistened. Good. Okay, well, I got all these replacements planted. I had 2 extra spaces, so I put some celery in there. That one back there, I got the humidity dome on, so that's good to go. That's all the new spinach and broccoli, I think. But this one is half and half, so I don't really know what to do. I think I'm gonna take that other tray out, and I don't know, I'll figure it out. It's time for lunch though, so we'll be back in a bit. We have got all these tomatoes. They are doing great. A little leggy, but tomatoes can be leggy. We now need to start splitting them up. I don't have enough room. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I need to take these and get them into individual containers. I have these pots for the next size up, but these are gonna take up so much room. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So what I think I'm gonna do is, for now, I'm gonna split these into multiple individual ones of this size. So I will take those 3 and I'll put them into 3 individual, these 3 here, I'll take those 3, put them 3 individual cells this size. So I'm gonna keep using this size container instead of this size container. At some point, I'm gonna have to upsize them, and some of these are getting pretty big. I might even have to do it now, but let's see what I can do and just start upsizing them. All right. All right, well, I took that one tray of these Cherokee purple tomatoes from the Ohio Seed Company, and I pulled them all apart, and I got 3 trays out of it. So I have 2 trays of tomatoes. At that ratio, I would end up with 6 trays of tomatoes. That's not gonna work. I only got room for 4 trays. So I'm gonna thin some, and I'm going to expand some and try and work it out so I use up exactly 4 trays, because I want to be able to like water and everything and not have it be weird. So that is my goal. We are going to spend a lot of time now splitting up and thinning tomatoes. Here we go. Yeah, okay, this is kind of working. I just did that one and this one. So I thinned it out and I put 2 in here. And I like this because I did this last year. My friend Abby taught me how. But I'm just very skeptical. And so I like the thinning. I feel like that disturbs the roots left. So this way at least I'll have like 5 plants that are thinned. And I'll have double up. And then I will do all those. And I'll have 4 trays of individual tomatoes. And I'll worry about next week what I'm going to do when I need to up pot again. Okay, we have thinned and up potted these. 1 tray of tomatoes is now 2 trays of tomatoes. Everything's got 1 tomato per cell. So they all got a little bit more room to grow. I gotta tell you, that was very scary and I did not enjoy it at all, and I'm convinced I failed. So I have a 2nd tray of tomatoes back here that I am not gonna do it to. I'm gonna give these a week and I'm gonna make sure that they're all growing and I didn't mess it up. Also, I stuck my little sage in here that was all alone at a 72 cell, so he's with the tomatoes now. So we're gonna give that a week and see how it's going. We got our new seed starts here. Under humidity domes, the things I messed up last time I have since learned is 1, the lights were too high. The lights were way up here before, now they're down low, so that's good. 2, I left the humidity domes on too long. What I've learned is you're supposed to take them off when about half the seeds have sprouted. So that's gonna be about a week. I left them on like 2.5 weeks. 3, I left the lights on 24 hours instead of 16 hours. So I have high hopes for this next batch. They actually all worked the first time. I just killed them by not giving them enough water while I was in quarantine for a week. So everything else is good shape. Tomatoes we have thinned. We're gonna let those harden up and get hardy. All this stuff down here is doing fantastic. I've rotated everything. That needs to rotate. You know, I rotated that so that it's reaching for the lights in different directions. And we are in pretty good shape here. Got some extra tomatoes there for compost. I'm at 3, 4, 5 in there. I was really liberal with the seeds. This is the dirt from the failed stuff. I'll put that in the compost bin. Next, we are going to go take that shredder, which is what's in that box. It's a cardboard shredder, and that's gonna be a separate video, but we're gonna unbox it and shred all this cardboard lying around and use that in the compost pile. The compost pile will be in a gardening video, but I'm gonna do a separate video on that shredder. So that's what's next. This one. Look at her being all responsible and waiting for it to turn off. Push it. Yeah, a little bit more. This one. So it's the next day, and the thin tomatoes are looking really good. Look at that. They like all started perking back up, and they're all pretty healthy. So I guess I could turn to these, but I don't know. That's a lot of work. Mommy, go outside. So we're probably gonna wait on those, but these are thinned, which is very exciting, looking good. I probably have to thin all of this and this. I don't know, I gotta look up each plant and see how kind of thinning needs to be done. We'll get to that in the next few days, but now we are going to do compost. We got the nice shredded material here. And we got the regular compost, so we're gonna work on that next. All right, those are the 2 birdies beds. I'm gonna build those after I do the compost pile. Went to the hardware store this weekend. I got 2 bags of mushroom compost that tied me over. Birdies beds are gonna go right here in this nice mulch bed. Here, I'll go wide so you can see what context. There's the house. There's where we're gonna put the birdies beds, and maybe this whiskey barrel I got as well. We got over here, these are 3 bins of soil from last year. We're gonna reuse that by adding lots of amendments. some fertilizer, some blood meal, some vermiculite, stuff like that. And we're gonna use that at the bottom of the beds. We'll talk about that later. And now we're gonna do, and then this is some old pots as well that we're gonna put in the compost, or in the beds as well. But right now we're gonna deal with the compost. So we got these two, and we're gonna take them over to the compost pile. Whew, doing those videos of you walking, I got that from a YouTuber I watch, Isabel Page. It's a lot of work. You got to do every trip like 3 times, but it's kind of fun. We'll see if it's worth it. All right, so here we are at my sad composting system. I got my sad hot compost that is dead. We're gonna try and get that going again today. I got my leaf mold, which is doing great. The bins themselves are really bad. That is a pallet that some paving stones my wife bought came on, but what we're gonna do tomorrow, maybe next weekend, a little TBD, but the next big project is to build some pallet bins here. We're gonna start there, build the first one, move the leaf mold into the first one, build the second one, move the compost into the second one, build the third one, which will be empty for when the compost is done. So, but that's next week's project, so we'll talk about that then. What we're gonna do to kickstart this thing, my strong sense is there's too much carbon, or too much nitrogen, not enough carbon. Although looking at it now, I'm dubious because all I see are a bunch of pine needles. But we're gonna stir it up, and then we're going to add this week's nitrogen. Got a big batch, it's been 2 weeks, and we're gonna add a bunch of carbon and a ton of water and stir it some more and see if we can't get this thing going again. That is the goal for today. Alright, well I'm feeling better about that. A lot more carbon in there. It is composting. The stuff at the bottom is definitely turned to compost. I've let it go 2 weeks, which is way too long. We're not gonna have rain for 2 weeks. I might come out and water this again midweek, but I think like it's pretty good now. It's gonna take a while. We're gonna put the thermometer in, and hopefully in the next week we'll see that temperature go back up and we'll get this thing alive again. It's a pain to bring the water all the way over here. I have a pond right there. So one of my dream projects is to get a little solar powered pump and run a line up to here so I can water this stuff, but still learning how to do that. Watched a few YouTube videos, still learning. And yeah. All right, we're done. That was quite a task. I would not characterize it as difficult. The people on YouTube, such as Epic Gardening, that said it was not hard were not lying. It's tedious as all get out, but you just got to power through. I mean, it's not like I have any skills other than managing internet companies. So, you know, if a guy like me with no skills and a bad back can put them together, you're probably good to go. It is, however, dinner time. So adding the soil and all that is going to be for the next video. Take care. Thanks.